The Egirl is a mysterious entity. They are hard to describe, but you know one when you see one. Kind of like a skinwalker or a sleep paralysis demon standing over the edge of your bed at night, watching you sleep, trying to get you to buy a jar of their bathwater. Most people's first encounter with an Egirl is mesmerizing, but don't stare too long at the bright colors and hypnotizing gyrations. This is merely a distraction. The dystopian endgame of the Egirl industrial complex is the relentless monetization of the entire range of human emotion, until the world banking system inevitably collapses under the weight of every dollar ever printed being spent on Tier 3 Twitch subs and OnlyFans private messages. But until that happens, let's take a look at some of the most infamous Egirl cases. And keep in mind, the deeper we go, the darker these stories are going to get. So let's take a look at the Egirl Iceberg Explained Part 3. Our first Egirl case at the tip of the iceberg went massively viral and was then ruthlessly cancelled all in less than 24 hours. Emma Longevin went from having 2,000 followers on a relatively new Twitter account to gaining 112,000 followers in 4 days. The Twitter video that put Emma on the map wasn't the first piece of content she ever made. In fact, just a few weeks before, Emma had posted a satirical apology video on her YouTube called "I'm Sorry, My Raw Honest Apology," where she makes fun of YouTuber apologies.
And honesty is so important. And I'm gonna tell you the truth because I am honest. Because I'm a Leo.
Fast forward 21 days and Emma wouldn't be fake apologizing anymore. It's rare that a single piece of content can propel someone into the spotlight on the toxic hellscape app known as Twitter, but when it does, it almost always ends in disaster. Emma's moment in the spotlight was no different. The video she posted that went viral was innocent enough.
So I was curious and I asked my doctor if that's the reason why I can't throw it back, and he confirmed it. I am physically incapable of throwing it back. I essentially have a doctor's note that says I can't top.
At first, the tweet was received well. Emma's audience grew a bit and everyone was happy. But once the post started to gain momentum, it took on a life of its own. A few people who saw the video started digging through Emma's account, searching through old posts and looking at who she was following. One person in particular took the lead, acting as professional hater and leader of the Twitter mob for the next few days. Ironically, their screen name was Honey, but they acted about as sweet as drinking a cup of hot, steamy mustard. Honey quote tweeted Emma's viral video saying, "This little Jersey e-girl is following white supremacists, so I don't know why y'all are standing her so hard." People on Twitter waited though and looked at the evidence themselves before casting judgment on Emma. Yeah, that's not what happened. They started ripping Emma apart like a bunch of dopamine-addicted sharks who smelled e-girl blood in the water. After Honey's post, another user replied, "She's also disgustingly whorephobic and has a vid where she jokes about looking like a hooker and says, 'Meet me on the street corner and sell me some black tar heroin, daddy, so she can choke, Lamau.'" Another user replied, "Still doesn't explain why she follows no black people." Emma replied to this guy by tagging Kudala, a black Twitch streamer and content creator, saying, "You're white now, I guess." And the anime profile picture replied, "This dude is the smallest fraction of black and still doesn't explain why you follow one. Try again." Wait a minute, who were the white supremacists that she followed anyway? Apparently Shoe on Head, her former partner Greg, and Blair White. These people are certainly controversial social media figures, but outright calling them white supremacists seemed like a reach to a lot of people in the thread. Still, it didn't stop the feeding frenzy on Emma's profile. Emma addressed the mob, saying, "Apparently I'm a white supremacist now? I followed Blair White, but I do not agree with her politics. I like hearing all sides of politics, even the ones I don't agree with. Racism is not and never has been okay. Sorry for the confusion." Instead of the mob throwing down their torches and pitchforks, some of them turned around and started attacking the people trying to cancel Emma, leading her to follow up with, "Hey, this is not an invitation to attack anyone. They had valid concerns and I don't blame them for calling me out. I thank them for informing me and I'm asking you all to not send any hate their way." 3 days later, Emma posted on YouTube, "I went viral," and got canceled within 24 hours. It turns out posting a joke apology 3 weeks before getting canceled had really confused people.
It just so happens that 3 weeks ago, I ironically uploaded a parody apology video where I took playful jabs at other YouTubers. And now I'm actually in a scandal, so people think that is my response to the situation because I didn't check the date on the video.
Back on Twitter, Honey was humbly accepting donations for their selfless community service of canceling Emma. Meanwhile, other users started to go through Honey's old posts, revealing that they were truly a beacon of human happiness and civility. Emma stopped posting on Twitter and YouTube after a while, but has found success on TikTok, where she still posts regularly and has nearly 2 million followers. She's only deleted her social media on one platform since then, and I bet you can guess which one.
I just wanted to tell dick jokes on the internet. But, as I've said, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, you know?
The next person on the iceberg once had a drama-filled Twitch channel called Rainbow Kids, but you might know her by her real name, Anissa Jomha. Anissa started streaming on Twitch in 2015 under the name Rainbow Kids as a self-labeled booby streamer. During this early stage in her Twitch career, Anissa got in plenty of controversies with other content creators. Everything from petty trash-talking other people, to relationship drama, to being accused of throwing matches in League of Legends, with one Redditor saying she queued up for ranked and ran it down mid 10 plus times Tyler 1 style after dying to red buff level 1. Hopefully she gets banned soon? What a joke. Thought popular streamers would be better than this, but I guess not.
Job is done.
Anissa didn't like being called out and said, "It's actually embarrassingly sad that me feeding on Draven Jungle on stream is somehow deemed front page of League subreddit worthy. Like, I'm a mid-gold subpar streamer, how the f is it that people care? Lamau." This is when Anissa started dating iDubbbz, who was one of the most popular YouTubers on the site at the time. His bad unboxing and Kickstarter crap series were wildly popular, bringing in millions of views each. But the crown jewel of iDubbbz's YouTube empire was Content Cop, a series in which he called out creators he saw as deserving of criticism. These videos received unbelievable amounts of views and attention for the time. In an era before YouTubers spent millions on high production game shows, everyone was watching Content Cop. From here on out, iDubbbz and Anissa's successes and problems became intertwined. One particularly notable controversy involved Zoe Berger, another former Twitch streamer who is widely considered to be one of the first modern e-girls. At the time, Zoe was forming an all-female gaming org and content house called Lux. Anissa was asked if she would be interested in joining and had this to say.
Didn't you want to join Zoe's Ho Squad? No, I never wanted to. I never wanted to join Zoe's Ho Squad.
Zoe quickly responded, saying that Anissa had actually wanted to be in the group.
You were supposed to come and hang out with me and Celestia after you begged Celestia. I have the Skype screenshots. You begged her to come hang out with me. I didn't know her or you, but she pulled you a favor so that you could come hang out with us. I said yes because why not? The more the merrier. You back out because iDubbbz tells you it's a bad idea to associate with me. Then you proceed to go on for the next couple of weeks and tweet about me every now and then, talking crap. I don't know if you're trying to provoke me or if you just honestly believe all the things you're saying, because if you tried to provoke me, you did it. Congratulations, it worked.
Anissa then went on an all-out media blitz against the Lux House and Zoe, making videos talking about how what they were doing would never work. To her credit, Anissa was right. The Lux House crumbled and Zoe Berger ended up leaving the internet.
Women are extremely marketable.
Over the next year, Anissa became increasingly involved in iDubbbz's channel, filming for him and helping with videos. One infamous video that Anissa worked on was Content Cop Tana Mojo. Tana had started beef with iDubbbz, telling him to game end himself for saying the N-word. Anissa would later claim that it was her idea for iDubbbz to make a Content Cop on Tana. Not only did Anissa and iDubbbz find tons of evidence of Tana herself saying the N-word, they took it a step further, driving to a meet and greet with Tana where iDubbbz said this while Anissa filmed.
Say
But that wasn't all. Tana had a bad habit of embellishing stories. The next day, she posted a video drastically exaggerating what actually happened.
He walks up to me and he kind of like locks his arm around me, like around my neck like this. And it wasn't like it was like a chokehold or anything. It was very like firm and like tight, like I couldn't have really gotten out, if that makes sense. I'll explain that in a second. And so the guy looks at me and he wraps his arm around me and he looks in the camera and he goes, "Say," and puts his thumbs up and then like blank and he says the N-word, like hard R.
Since then, the video has raked in over 35 million views, and Anissa has expressed some mixed feelings about it.
That type of behavior should probably not happen. Not proud of it, to be honest. But, I don't know. It did make good content.
On March 9th, 2020, Anissa announced she was starting an account on OnlyFans. This received a massive amount of backlash, mostly from iDubbbz fans who felt it was against his character to have a girlfriend selling pics and videos on the containment site that hosts all the content that Twitch and YouTube don't want. But iDubbbz had this to say.
I love my girlfriend and I'm totally fine with dudes jerking off to pictures of her on the internet. Doesn't affect me one way or the other. If you are upset by me admitting this, then I suggest you go idolize someone else.
In 2021, Ian and Anissa got married, and it wouldn't take long for the next chapter of their lives to manifest in a huge project. A few months later, they announced their next undertaking, Creator Clash. The idea was to host a massive YouTuber boxing event done right. There would be an emphasis on professionalism, making sure the fighters were properly trained and equipped for the fights, and the profits would go to charity. Idubbbz and Anissa were fully committed to this, with Anissa changing her bio to read "boxing promoter married to a boxer." But this event would not happen without major drama before the fights even took place. Idubbbz was set to fight in the event and said that he couldn't find a suitable opponent. People online urged him to fight Sam Hyde, who Idubbbz had made a documentary on about 6 months prior. But there was a problem. Anissa had this to say.
There's been some talk of Sam Hyde getting involved in your event. Could you speak to that?
If anyone saw the documentary Getting Away With It, we worked with Sam Hyde for a period, and it was tough. You know, he was wanting to put on his own show, and he did, and it was funny. But he's not a super cooperative guy. He's very unpredictable. So involving him in our event just isn't a good idea. I think most people would.
Business risk.
I think most people would understand that.
Yeah, it's a huge business risk.
Fans of Idubbbz and Anissa were split on this, with some unhappy with the decision while others agreed with it. Despite the controversy, the event was a success. In the wake of their massive success, Idubbbz and Anissa announced that they would be making Creator Clash an annual event, and the 2023 version would be even bigger and better. Mainstream news took notice, with NBC saying, "Creator Clash aims to be different by de-emphasizing drama and big payouts," said Ian Jomha, one of the event's co-founders. And this statement turned out to be debatable at best. During training, one of the fighters, Froggy Fresh, tweeted some banter to his opponent, Chris Raygun.
On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
This is when a new character in the story got involved, Anissa's mom. She went on Twitter to call Froggy Fresh numbnuts, an imp, and more. Froggy didn't like this and responded in a Twitter video.
Anissa's mom also made another tweet at me. She tweeted, "Classic case of brain damage. Better have that looked at, along with your obviously shrunken balls." First off, when I did hit my head on them monkey bars, yeah, I did get hurt a little bit, but when I got the scan done, they said I was still smart. Second off, as far as with that second thing that you said about my privates, you have got to clean up your language. That is not good to be talking like that.
Anissa and Idubbbz responded by removing Froggy Fresh from the lineup just 3 weeks before the fight, tweeting, "Creator Clash's goal is to make an inclusive and fun environment for creators and fans while giving back to charity. That has always been our mission, and Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not align with that mission. We look forward to sharing this positive experience on April 15th. The backlash from this response was massive. Moist Critical said, "I'm really disappointed by this. Kicking him for Twitter controversy after months of training is brutal. I don't think any jokes he made were intended to be mean-spirited or shit on anyone. Hopefully they reconsider this decision." Idubbbz and Anissa stuck to their decision though, blocking accounts that criticized them, and Anissa eventually went private on Twitter. When they realized that the first 2 tweets weren't going to be enough and that they needed to clear the air, they released this statement, part of which said, "We have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year." But this statement fell flat too, since they didn't specifically name any rules Froggy had broken or how he had broken them. Idubbbz and Anissa upped the ante again, having their lawyer send Froggy a letter demanding he return the $15,000 they gave him for training costs.
They're suing you to recoup the training costs they gave you?
They said if I shut up and pay back the 15 grand for the 5 months of training, if I shut up and pay that back, they won't sue me for damages.
A ton of big YouTubers rallied around Froggy, as he revealed that financially he wouldn't be able to defend himself from a lawsuit. Mudahar of Some Ordinary Gamer said, "Threatening litigation like this kinda worries me, but I hate it when smaller creators have to face any legal crap. It ruins lives. I'm down to cover it all, no need for GoFundMes. I just want this to be resolved. I want a successful event at the end of the day." But Idubbbz and Anissa weren't without supporters. Harley Morenstein of Epic Mealtime argued on their behalf on Twitter for several days leading up to the fight. Another one of the fighters, Alana Pierce, made a video saying that Idubbbz and Anissa never intended to sue Froggy Fresh.
I've made a bunch of commentary about Froggy Fresh getting sued by Creator Clash, which is absolutely not true. So let me take the opportunity to say that because I don't think anybody else has yet. A lawyer sent a document, but that document is not litigation and it's not them trying to sue him.
Alana went on to say that the $15,000 Creator Clash gave Froggy was some kind of financial aid because he needed help paying for his training. But Froggy posted a video on Twitter to clear the air about this.
Elena Pierce is misinforming the public, saying that I'm taking money off the table for charity, okay? The money I used to train was an advance on my purse. It had nothing to do with the charity organizations. All the fighters are receiving a purse to fight. That money was an advance on that purse. It was coming out of my purse. That's it. So I would have a smaller purse on fight night. That's it. Now what I'm willing to do to show you how dedicated I am to charity, I'm willing to donate the rest of my purse to charity, as well as my portion of profits from ticket sales and pay-per-view sales that all the fighters are splitting. I'll donate both of those to charity. That means doing it for absolutely nothing.
This surprised a lot of people, as they were under the impression that fighters weren't splitting ticket sales and pay-per-view money and that all of this was going to charity. YouTuber Boblax made a video where he did some rough math, estimating that the fighters' pool of money might be around $1.5 million. Idubbbz and Anissa would later go on the H3 podcast and say this was incorrect, as they had spent far more money on production than Boblax had estimated. But they didn't give specifics on how much fighters were actually paid. Finally, the day of the fight came. In spite of the drama, it turned out to be a massive success. They filled out a huge arena in Tampa and sold thousands of pay-per-views. After the fight, Idubbbz had this to say.
I really appreciate everyone. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But I really do appreciate the support, and thank you for coming.
Anissa's journey from edgy e-girl to big-time boxing promoter has been pretty chaotic and drama-filled. And keep in mind, the further we go down the iceberg, the more bizarre these cases are going to get. If part 4 is done, you can watch that right here, and part 1 and 2 will be linked in the comments if you want to see those. Also, if you're curious about how Sam Hyde got to where he is today and why he's so controversial in all of these different stories, you can watch my video I made about that right somewhere else on screen. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay weird, internet. See you next time. Peace.